Very good morning, friends. So today's topic which we have is, should restaurant be mentioning the calories of the food in their menu card? Now, I have been eating out for quite some time, and it is very rare to actually see the calories per food in the menu card. But according to the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, which is called FSSAI, they have been clearly mentioned that a restaurant chain with more than 10 outlets, or if the restaurant has a central license, they needs to mention the calorie of the food as well as the ingredients which you are using in their menu card. And I think the last date of doing so was July of 2022. But even if you could see these days, there are many restaurants, they actually have not done that. In fact, couple of months back, I have seen that FSSAI has been actively working on that, and they have cancelled some of the restaurants' license. But I think the question is not that about the rules and the regulations. I think the thing which we need to understand, do we really need that? Is it really mandatory? Before 2015 or even 2010, there were restaurants, there were many food outlets. But have we really ever cared about the restaurant's food quality or the hygiene of the food, or how do they actually prepare the food? No, right? In fact, there are many dhaba, they do not really even have a permanent menu card. If you go, I have been to many places where they basically write down the everyday's menu in a board, and whenever the menu or the food has been finished, they will remove it from that board. I have seen that, and the food is amazing. As such, there is no issues. Now these kind of regulations have been coming into the picture because there are so many outlets and food market is growing day by day, and there are so many people. So to control in certain things, I believe that is mandatory. But for a regular human being who is eating out, who is going to the restaurant, for him or her, is it really necessary? Now I believe the restaurant authority should have an complete autonomy on that, because in your restaurant or cafe or canteen, if the kind of people who are visiting, they don't really bother about the food which they are eating, I mean they don't really care about the calories they are eating, then it is not really necessary to talk about the calories. Now sometimes I do check about the calorie. I wanted to know that it's probably just a cold coffee, but how much calorie I am consuming, or probably that just a club sandwich, but how much calorie I am actually consuming. Should I actually consume that? I actually do check out that. But these things usually happens probably when I have already had too much food that day, or I am thinking about becoming a little bit diet conscious, or something related to that. Not all the time. I don't really care that much about the food, because when I am eating out, that means that day I can have whatever I prefer, right? And sometimes even I have noticed is, although I do understand the value of calorie counting, I still understand that it doesn't really matter that much, right? However, in the same context, which I think is mentioning about the ingredients which is going in the food, that is mandatory. Because probably you have some allergy with some particular type of milk, or you have some allergy with some nuts, or maybe type of fish, you never really know, right? So I think in that case it is mandatory. But the calorie thing, it it is good to mention that, but it is not mandatory all the time. I mean, people knows that, this is in a high calorie food, okay, or this is a low calorie food. People, I mean, the people who are that diet conscious, they usually have a rough idea that what they are eating. But usually people who have no idea, they usually don't care about looking at the calorie. right? So I think it is not that important for the people who are eating out. Thank you.